It's another edition of Time About the Movies. We're looking at the weekend of June 14th, 1991. Three movies to look at today, but only one of them really has any real memorability to it, and that's the first movie that we're looking at, and that is Kevin Costner in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is one of those interesting movies. I mean, it's a movie that didn't do so well critically. It didn't do bad either. It just mostly got mixed reviews, who mostly praised the performances of Morgan Freeman and Alan Rickman, as well as the score by Michael Kamen, which really you saw it in that trailer. You heard it in that trailer right there. That music he puts in there is incredible. That Robin Hood theme that he has there is just very good. Like, that is definitely one of the strongest things about the movie. Didn't do well with critics, but it was one of the biggest hits of the year. I think it was the second highest grossing film of the year. It was actually the second highest grossing opening weekend for a non-sequel. So that really should tell you something about how big of a hit this movie was. And of course, this movie also was notable for the song Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams, which actually was nominated for an Academy Award that year. And at the time, the first time I saw this movie back in the 90s, I was kind of on the same page as everybody else. I just thought it was okay. I thought it was a movie that didn't really do that much for me the first time I saw it. And then as time has gone on, I've grown to appreciate it more and more, but that's mostly because every other Robin Hood movie they've done since this, with the exception of something like Robin Hood Men in Tights, it just really doesn't work. I mean, the Ridley Scott one they did in 2010 with Russell Crowe was a terrible movie. And also the 2018 one with Eggsy from Kingsman, Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx, was also terrible. But, yeah, this movie has grown on me over the years, and honestly, I really like it now. Like, I've seen it a couple of times recently. I have really grown to love it. I've grown to love it more as what it was aimed for. It was a summer blockbuster spectacle that really does feel like the old school Robin Hood movies of the time period, but this is made in 91. This is Kevin Costner coming just off the success of his Dances with Wolves, which won all the Oscars the previous year. And I still think this is a very entertaining movie. This is a really solid film. Costner, he's okay. He's not great. He's not the best Robin Hood you could probably put in here, but he works perfectly fine here. They could have gotten a better actor to do it, but he's perfectly fine in this. You also have a good cast that includes Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater. Alan Rickman is a great villain in here, although he's really just playing the same villain role that he's playing in Die Hard. But you know what? That's all. In this case, I'll take it, because he really is one of the strongest points of the movie. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio is also in this. She's very good. The visual look of the film is still very impressive. And like I said before, the music by Michael Kamen is incredible. It's a great score. And the song by Bryan Adams is a very good song. It's a song that plays well, and it's a catchy song. It's a really good song that still holds up to this very day. And yeah, like I said before, it really is a movie that has stood the test of time and has actually gotten a lot better. Again, mostly because the movies that have come after this, the Robin Hood films they've tried to do after this, have been mostly terrible. And this one here, the effort is obviously here. There isn't a lot of effort here, and it does work for the most part. There are things about it that are kind of hit and miss, but overall, yeah, it is a very solid film. It's a movie that I've grown to appreciate more and more over time, and I can't recommend it enough. If you really go into it, if you've been disappointed by what Russell Crowe and the Taron Egerton movies were like, this movie feels more like what a Robin Hood movie should be like, and I'm glad I got a chance to revisit it again to really appreciate what it really was trying to do. I think it's a much better movie than it was when I first saw it as a kid. It has stood the test of time, honestly. If you haven't seen it, I definitely say check it out again. You might be surprised on how actually good this movie is. So yeah, that's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and that is Kickboxer 2. The first Kickboxer at least has some memorable moments, like Jean-Claude Van Damme dancing in the cabin, but yeah, this is just a bad movie. This is a really, really bad movie. I mean, you've got Sasha Mitchell here, who was in a few months from now would star in Step by Step, playing the older son, and Yeah, this just doesn't work. I mean, he does not have that same charisma that Van Damme has, and the premise is basically is another been there, done that type of story. I mean, it's a story that really does not feel like something that would. It really doesn't feel like something that could repeat the second time around if you have the same kind of script that the first movie had. Because this is pretty much the same script as the first movie, except it's Saucy Mitchell instead of John Claude Van Damme in the lead, and yeah, it's about as bad as you think it is. It's not a very good movie whatsoever. Kickboxer 2. I'm just gonna stop it right there. Let's go ahead and move on to the last movie, and that is Bright Angel. I mean, we've seen this type of movie done over and over again. The guy comes back to his hometown after so many years, seeing how it's completely changed around, and he has to figure out how to get everything back to the way it was, that type of thing. And as a lot of this movie is very much run of the mill type of stuff, and usually this movie could only work if your performances really stand out the most here, and they definitely do here. I mean, you've got a good cast here: Dermot Mulroney, Lily Taylor, Valerie Perrine, Bill Pullman, Burt Young, Sam Shepard, Benjamin Bratt, I should say, Delroy Lindo, Mary Kay Place, Will Patton. You have a really good cast here, and I think they do definitely carry the movie over. The script is very formulaic. It definitely is very much been there, done that before. But like I said, it's the acting that saves the movie. It's a movie that I think it's not really a strong movie, but like I said, it's a movie that works a lot better because of the actors giving that they're all doing the best that they can with the script that they're given. And it makes it for a decent movie. It's not one you should rush out to see, but if you see it somewhere, if it's free on streaming, it wouldn't hurt to check it out, honestly. So that's my thoughts on Bright Angel. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time around, we jump into June 21st. Only 2 movies to look at. We have Julia Roberts and Campbell Scott in Dying Young, and Disney's The Rocketeer. So we'll look at both of those movies next time around. But in the meantime, thank you guys for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, check out the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another new episode. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and until then, as always, take care.